Namaskar, friends. This is Shekhar Mayanil here again um, with a brand new episode 21 of Yogic Neurosciences in Hanuman Chalisa. So, before I begin, let me bow down to Ganesh ji and, of course, Hanumanji Maharaj, who is my own breath. Okay, so let me share my screen. So episode 21 deals with Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikar, which means uh, when we do the Chalisa breathing or the Hanuman Chalisa like pranayam with 4 inhalation, 4 uh, hold, 4 exhalation, and 4 a hold, and again the same cycle repeated over and over again. That's Chalisa breathing or Chalisa Pranayam, right? Now, when you do that, that gives the strength, intelligence, and the knowledge for what? To ward off all the afflictions that causes misery. Okay, this is the outcome of all that Chalisa breathing. So let me first thank you all for watching, subscribing, sharing, and liking this video already. And let me start now. There are a few questions from episode 20 that I have been asked by a couple of people. Of course, they clubbed together as pretty much the same question. I was probably not as clear in my discussion about how is Hanumanji connected to Bharatji. So even though I said that Hanumanji leads to Bharatji, it wasn't clear enough. So probably it's my fault. So, and the second question is, somebody asked me, I don't much understand how Hanumanji, our breath, which leads us to Bharatji, will lead us to Bharatji, who can balance emotions and logic in every decision making. How do you, in essentially, I've been asked that, how do we balance emotion and logic in decision making? Because sometimes the decision is too emotional and we lose the logical aspect of it. How do you use both together? And that is actually the question. And that is exactly what the first question is also. How is Hanumanji connected to Bharatji? Which means how is breathing connected to uh, this super metacognitive intelligence? Basically, that's what it is. So this is the answer. So in episode 20, what I did was I had mentioned Shambhavi Mahamudra also, along with pranayam, which means the Chalisa breathing. Now, when you combine both, it activates the prefrontal cortex, which is this the front forehead portion, like between the eyebrows, right? The just behind the eyebrows, uh, the center of the eyebrow, that is the prefrontal cortex, which is the executive functioning part of our brain, right? When Shambhavi Mahamudra is putting when we do Shambhavi Mahamudra, we are putting the awareness between the eyebrows, right? Which it equates to awareness of on the prefrontal cortex, okay? And if we add the pranayam, which means deep inhalation, hold, exhalation, hold, and inhalation again, and all the repeating the same cycle over and over, along with Shambhavi, there is an increase in oxygenated blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, and thereby which results in astounding clarity of thoughts, words, and action. Have you ever seen anybody which has so much absolute clarity of thoughts and action? I think Sadhguru exemplifies a very, very clear thinking, thought process, no muddling of nothing. Clear words come out of his mouth. His action is very, very precise, and his thoughts are just clear. So this is the kind of a thing that happens when you do Shambhavi Mahamudra along with pranayam. Okay, now let's get to the details of the real thing that we were discussing. Bala Buddhi Vidya. Now, what is Bal? Bal is strength, right? Now, what all kind of strengths there are? Physical strength, obviously, this is very, very essential. Without the physical strength, so let me get that clear. Why did Tulsidaji ask Hanumanji to give him the strength, bala, buddhi, and then Vidya? He could have directly asked, give me Vidya. Hanumanji is not going to give you just Vidya. He said, you need a strong body, a strength, mental, physical, emotional, moral, and spiritual strength first, in order for me to give you with buddhi. Buddhi is the equipment, right? Which only a strong body, strong mind, and strong emotions can hold, right? And then only the Vidya can be put into it. So there was, as I told you earlier also, I had mentioned this example, Sant Ramdas, who was guru of Shivaji Maharaj. He used to go to beg for food in the village, and there was one home that there was one lady who used to give him nice rice, very fresh rice. So he would eat the rice there, and he would give some nice satsang to her. And there was another lady who was a neighbor, who was a jealous neighbor, and obviously she did not like the idea. So she said, Maharaj, why don't you come to my house and also give us satsang, and so that our life also improves the way the neighbor's life is improving. She said, okay, next tomorrow I'll come. So when he went there, he said, okay, bhavatu bhikshan dehi, and he said, okay, Swamiji, wait here. I'll bring you some fresh rice. So in the meantime, Ramdas Swamiji went to the gutter somewhere, and he was washing his kamandalu there, and absolutely filthy water, right? And he came back running, and he said, okay, give me in this. So that lady said, don't you understand, this is such a fresh rice, smelling nice basmati rice is there, and you want me to give this rice in this gutter washed kamandalu? Are you crazy? So he said the same thing. If you cannot give your rice in this dirty vessel, how do you expect me to give the satsang and the knowledge of truth, the knowledge of absolute reality to your brain, which is full of filth and dirt and all that jealousy, hatred, and all those stuff? So it is not possible. So this is exactly what is the container is your buddhi. Buddhi is your container, and Vidya is the stuff that you add into that, and all that is held by strength, physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, and things like that. So strength for what? To fight Ravana, right? To fight Ravana. Who is Ravana? Ravana is a 10-headed monster in us, all of us, right? One of the first monster is Kam, which means Kam Vasana, which means lust. And another one is Krodh, which is anger. Then is Moha, which is delusion and attachment. And Lobha is greed, right? And then Mad is intoxicated with over pride, like too much pride about showmanship, and like I am the only cool fellow in the world, that type of absolute intoxicated with pride, right? Matsarya is jealousy. When somebody is doing well, we don't even sometimes don't give compliments to that person. That is jealousy, basically. Then Swarth is selfishness. Anyay is injustice. So amanavta is cruelty. Cruelty for apparently no reason, cutting somebody's head and hurting that person. That is amanavta. That is Ravan, actually, right? Ahankar is ego, which is which is generated by ignorance, actually. So these are the 10 Ravans, 10-headed Ravan that we have to fight. That is the strength we need for. So what is actual strength? Sri Ram demonstrates very nicely in Lanka Kand. So visualize with me, in Lanka Kand of Sri Ramcharitmanas, Vibhishan and Sri Ram are standing face to face with Ravan in the battlefield. Okay, so you just imagine now. Vibhishan is Saranagati of Ram. He is already surrendered to Sri Ram because in Ravan kicked him out of the kingdom. Now, Ravan has a very well armored chariot with all kinds of weapons, shields, and body protection, and you name it. All gizmos known to mankind, he had it. And Ram was standing there without even shirt, not even boots. Forget about the armor. So he had nothing. Now this causes serious concern for Vibhishana. Vibhishana is concerned now with, and he said, रावण रथी बिरथ रघुबीरा देखी विभीषण भयउ अधीरा अधिक प्रीति मन भासंदेहा बंदी चरण कह सहित सनेहा नाथ न रथ नहीं तन पद त्राना केहि विधि जीतब वीर बलवाना सुनहु सखा कह कृपा निधाना जेहि जय होई सो संदन आना. Ravana Rathi Virati Raghuvira. Ravan is standing in mighty chariot, and Virat means without any rath, without any chariot. Raghuvir, Sri Ram is standing. Seeing this, Vibhishan got impatient, adhir, and without actually when that happens, when you have tremendous love for somebody, adhika priti mana bhasandeha. I mean, you doubt whether this fellow will be able to do it or not. I mean, that constant is always the case, right? Whenever you have so much love for that person, you always get doubtful about whether he'll be able to do it or not. How can I help him? And you are helpless, and you feel that how can you do it? Nath Narath Nahi Tana Padatra. Nath means your Lord Sri Ram. You do not have Rath. You do not have neither the body armor, neither shirt. You don't even have a shirt on you. Now, Kehi Vidhi Jitaba Veera Balwana, how do you win over this Ravan, Veera Balwana? Sunaho Sakha Kaha Kripa Nidanas. Then Ramchandraji said, Sunaho Sakha, please, my friend, listen, I'll tell you something which will make the real winner out of anybody. So this is the beautiful part in Lanka Kand. Then Sri Ram very, very lovingly described Dharmarath to Vibhishana, by which any enemy is defeated. सौरज धीरज तेहि चरथ चाका सत्यशील दृढ़ ध्वजा पताका बल विवेक दम परहित गोरे क्षमा कृपा समतार जुजोरे ईश भजन सारथी सुजाना विरत चर्म संतोष कृपाना दान परसु बुद्धि शक्ति प्रचंडा बर विज्ञान कठिन को दंडा अमल अचल मन त्रोन समाना समझम नियमशील मुख नाना कवच अभेद विप्र गुरु पूजा ऐसम विजय उपाय न दूजा सखा धर्म रथ असरथ सखा धर्म मय असरथ जाके जीतन कह न कतहु रिपुता के. So let's define what all things has been told. Sauraj is valor, Dheeraj is fortitude, Satya is truthfulness, Sheel is good conduct, Bal is strength, obviously, Vivek is discretion, which means discerning intellect, right? Which Bharatji had. Now, Dam is self-control, Parahit is benevolence, doing good for others. Kshama is forgiveness. Kripa is compassion. Samata is evenness of mind. Now, how are these elements arranged in the Rath, in the Dharma Rath? That's what he said. Sakha Dharmamaya Asarath Jake Jeetana Kahuna Katahu Riputake, which means there is not a single enemy which can win over you. You will win over all enemies. There will be no enemy left for you to win actually, because this destroys the enemy instantly. So these are the things, qualities that you have to have. That is the quality, that is the dharmarath you should be having, you should be actually riding on. And that's how it is. Dharmarath, as described in Ramcharitmanas in Lanka Kand, is as follows. Valor and fortitudes are the wheels of that chariot, two-wheel chariot, right? Truthfulness and good conduct are its enduring banner and standard. Strength, discretion, self-control, and benevolence are the four horses. Forgiveness, compassion, and even-mindedness are reins. Okay, equanimous. Adoration of higher authority to exist or existence, which means God, is the expert driver. That is the driver which you sit on, which drive that Rath. The adoration to higher authority. Dispassion is the shield. Contentment is the sword. Charity is the axe. Reason is a fierce lance. And highest wisdom is the relentless bow. Bow. Pure and steady mind, equanimous mind, is the quiver. Quietude and various forms of abstinence, yam and niyam, as are described in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, are the arrows. Homage to gurus and one's own preceptor, deep respect and reverence to those masters is an impenetrable body armor. Ramchandraji says there is no other equipment for victory as efficacious as this. My friend Vibhishan, he who owns such a chariot shall have no enemy to conquer anywhere. There will be no enemy. He destroys his enemy like instantly with this kind of a dharma rath. So let's get to the buddhi aspect. Buddhi means that equipment which holds the knowledge, right? Bala, buddhi, vidya. Vidya is the knowledge. Buddhi is the intelligence, the intellect aspect, the container which holds the knowledge. Vivek buddhi, which is metacognitive intelligence, and dharma buddhi, when vivek and love and dharma add up together, that is what causes to become supercognitive intelligence. That is pure Bharatji. That is the real Bharatji. Vidya is, there are different kinds of Vidya which is available now these days. So the secular knowledge and all that stuff is there. But briefly, different nomenclature wise, it gets into 7 different kinds of knowledge: explicit knowledge, implicit knowledge, tacit knowledge, procedural knowledge, declarative knowledge, posteriori knowledge, and a priori knowledge. So these are the different kinds of knowledge. However, there is higher knowledge also, which is the self-knowledge. And this is possible only with the activation of prefrontal cortex. It is impossible. Self-knowledge is impossible without the activation of prefrontal cortex. Now you understand what is the essential nature of Shambhavi and the pranayam. The inhalation exhalation thing is the inhalation exhalation and all these things. What they do is it activates the prefrontal cortex. Without Shambhavi and Chalisa Pranayam, there is absolutely no activation of prefrontal cortex. This is what it is about. So why do we need the strength, intelligence, and knowledge? Somebody might ask, to ward off afflictions, right? That create misery. We want bliss, but we get blisters. Why? Because we do not have the strength, intelligence, and the knowledge. Some people have the knowledge, and some people have the knowledge but no intelligence. Some people have knowledge and intelligence but no strength. You may have as much knowledge and intelligence. If you do not have strength to protect that knowledge and intelligence, if you cannot protect your equipment, your body itself, you will be wiped off. We have seen civilizations wiped off because of that. They might have a lot of knowledge, they might have a lot of intelligence. If they don't have strength, it's over. So that's why this is dharma. This is the essential sequence. If you do anything beyond this sequence, let's say if you do not have the strength, but you have the intelligence and the knowledge, it will be wiped, it will be gone. So if you do adharma, which means you do not take care of the strength aspect, but only focus on the intelligence and the knowledge, you are doomed for failure. Now, this is the reason why we need strength, intelligence, and knowledge forward to ward off afflictions that create misery in us, perversions and negative tendency. These are the things that we have to ward off from our life. So what are these afflictions that cause misery? They are the scripture described, there are 5 types. Number 1 is avidya, which is ignorance. Asmita, which is the ego, the product of ignorance. And the rag, which means likes. Tvesh is dislikes. So we live our life with either we like something or we dislike something, right? So always there is always a, so likes and dislikes also causes misery, because if we get something which we like, that's we'll get happy, otherwise we'll be sad. So half every time you will be always your attitude will just keep going up and down like a yo-yo. And so abhinivesh is the fear of death, which is a mother of all fears actually. Now all these affliction have the epicenter has in the sympathetic nervous system, right? And the limbic system, which involves the limbic system and does not involve the prefrontal cortex. Remember that all these things are does not involve prefrontal cortex. So that's why when you activate the prefrontal cortex, with the strength, intelligence, and knowledge will automatically come to you. This is what it is. In summary, Chalisa breathing activates our prefrontal cortex, which represents Bharatji, or our Vivek Buddhi, which is metacognitive intelligence. Now, when you add the Vivek Buddhi plus love plus dharma, righteousness, then it becomes super metacognitive intelligence, which is what is basically Bharatji. Bharatji is an epitome or the incarnation of super metacognitive intelligence, as a very advanced human being. Currently, human beings are not even advanced to that level. But Bharatji is one of the characters in Ramcharitmanas, or in Ramayana actually. He was the founder of Ram Rajya. Now we'll talk about Bharatji in coming episode actually. So with prefrontal cortex activated through what? Through pranayam, and pranayam means Chalisa breathing, plus your Shambhavi Mahamudra, we get all kind of strength, intelligence, and knowledge to conquer or ward off any afflictions or the enemies which constantly create misery in us. The epicenter of all these afflictions is our limbic system and sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system should be promoted to higher level, which is parasympathetic, and the limbic system should be promoted to the prefrontal cortex. That's how our brain regulation and our physiology regulation should be for a very great living. So what happens is, coming back to why we started in episode 1, remember we discussed joy yah padhe Hanuman Chalisa hoye siddhi sakhi gaurisa, right? Jo yah padhe Hanuman Chalisa. They said, don't. Tulsidas is saying read Hanuman Chalisa, which means when you read Hanuman Chalisa, you keep your mouth shut, right? Of course, chanting is good, but the way he says, "Hoy siddhi sakhi gaurisa," who is a witness to this? That whatever you do, whatever siddhi sakhi gaurisa means, you have the strength, intelligence, the knowledge to conquer all the affliction. Which was, what was that? What were they doing? They were blocking your siddhi. right? They are the ones who are blocking your siddhi. What? Bala Buddhi Vidya Devi Harau Kalesha. This klesh and these afflictions and vikar, these they were blocking your siddhi because you did not have the bal, the buddhi, and the vidya. So this is the beauty of Hanuman Chalisa. So I am so infinitely grateful, and I'm showing gratitude for watching all these episodes that far. Now, what I'm going to do is I will switch gears now. And since Hanumanji has brought us to Bharatji, or breathing has brought us to super metacognitive intelligence, which is Bharatji, we will discuss a lot more in our coming episodes exclusively on Bharatji's metacognitive intelligence or super metacognitive intelligence. How Bharatji, what is the nature of that person? How he acts in the world? This super metacognitive intelligent person acts in the world. That is what we will discuss from Ramcharitmanas. Actually, we have now switched from Bharat. Since Hanumanji has brought us to Bharatji, now let's discuss Bharatji. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. And I look forward to discussing a whole lot of several episodes just on Bharatji and what is meta supercognitive intelligence and all that stuff. Right? Okay. Thank you so much. Namaskar.